Bienvenido a Barcelona. Welcome to Barcelona, to the Circuit de Catalunya for the second race of the weekend for the Formula Renault Eurocup. Hello everybody, I'm Martin Haven, ready for the cars to head out of pit lane and form up on a hot and sunny grid as we get ready for our second race encounter of the weekend. Well, the first was filled with incident and close racing, as you come to expect from this single-seater category. And there is the man who ended up with victory yesterday afternoon, Victor Martins, the MP Motorsport driver. And he will also be starting from pole position for race 2 of their weekend. Now, the Renault Championship using identical cars, all on the same tyres, the same engine. And that means that it is the driver and the engineer who make the difference in the package. And that's one of the big attractions for young single-seater stars. Close racing, lots of wheel-to-wheel encounters, wings and slicks, and a chance for something other than just having the right car to make a difference, because in this championship everybody has the right car. They all use the same Tata chassis, the Formula Renault FR19, with its the new safety devices, including the Halo. It's now got a 1.8 litre, 270 horsepower four-cylinder engine, 6-speed sequential gearbox, paddle shift, all the bells and whistles that you expect from a top-flight training single-seater. Well, second on the grid is young Russian Alexander Smolyar, and he is run by Race GP. Louise Beckett is down on the grid in the hot sunshine with Renault Sport's sporting manager.
Sporting manager Tarek Said is with me, and we're on the second race of the weekend. It was a great battle yesterday. Can we see the same again today?
Well, I hope so. Yesterday's result makes it even tighter for the championship standings. So if the same happens today, we're going to go to Hockenheim and Abu Dhabi with such a tight championship. It's going to be fantastic at the end of the season.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you so much.
Well, the 2-litre category, and particularly the Formula Renault Eurocup, as well as their regional championships, has been such a successful breeding ground for young racing drivers. Sebastian Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, a whole host of Formula One stars, and not forgetting a whole host more GT and sports car racing stars have come up through the Renault ladder. And to win the Formula Renault Eurocup is always a feather in any man's cap. Let's hear from our pole man, Victor Martins.
Pole man for a second time this weekend is Victor Martins. Victor, you had a dominant performance yesterday. Can you repeat it today?
Yeah, of course. In qualifying, we show our true pace. We made the pole again, so yeah, the goal is clear again. It's just to win the race today and to just look in front of me.
Thank you.
Victory yesterday, his third win of the season, but it came potentially because Oscar Piastri, his fellow front row starter, got turfed out in the first corner and had to come through the field from behind. However, Victor Martins had put himself in the best position to challenge for the win, and that's by starting from pole, and so he does again. This is Alex Quinn, run by the Arden team. Arden originally formed by Christian Horner and his dad to run Christian when he was in Formula 3000, and that continues. Let's hear from Alexander Smolyar with Louise Beckett.
The team are just making some final adjustments to the car here, and Alex Smolyar. Victor managed to get the better of you yesterday. Can you take that back from him today?
Yeah, pretty happy with the qualifying with P2, just 300ths of pole. I hope we do the same job as yesterday on the start to overtake Martins in first corner, and then we'll see how it goes.
Thank you, Alex.
Well, as he pointed out, qualifying extremely tight, just 300ths of a second off pole position. So, like you come to expect from identical single-seaters, the battle very tight indeed. Lorenzo Colombo here. This is car number 12, starting in 5th position on the grid. MP Motorsport running that car like the car of Victor Martins, our pole sitter, and the number 3 machine of Alexander Smolyar. All the cars are identical. They all use exactly the same parts and equipment. You can't go manufacturing your own aerodynamic or any other parts. You must use parts from the Renault parts catalogue, literally as well as figuratively. All the same engine. They all use the same control tyre as well. And that means that you go to the grid knowing that you've got equal chance. Victor Martins and Alexander Smolyar on row 1 for the second race of the weekend. As they clear the grid, Peter Potacek lies in third on the start grid with Alex Quinn in fourth, Lorenzo Colombo and championship leader Oscar Piastri on row 3. Piastri must be hoping for a cleaner start this time from sixth position. Seventh, Federico Malavestiti ahead of Charles Collet, the rookie points leader from Brazil. Hugo de Wilde and Patrick Pasma line up behind. JD Motorsport and Arden running the drivers on row 5. On row 6 of the grid, Franco Colapinto, who started on the back row yesterday and tore through the field with great prowess in the FA Racing by DriveX car. And alongside him, Xavier Loveras, fellow back row starter yesterday, run by GRS. Behind them, trouble for some of the drivers at the back of the field. Leonardo Lorandi and Amore Cordale, the Belgian, on row 7. Kushmaini damaged the floor of the M2 competition car in qualifying. He's towards the tail of the field with Frank Bird, who barely got away in yesterday's grid. Kilian Meyer, first time ever in the 2-litre Formula Renault Cup cars, rather. And so the Kilian Meyer, the Formula 4 driver, qualifying decently ahead of Ben Benvenides, who sounds as Spanish as you like. Benvenides from the USA, 18-year-old. So 18 cars ready to go in hot summer sunshine. It's a 30-minute race and 1 lap once time has elapsed. As soon as the leader goes by the line after 30 minutes is up, the final lap begins. Air temperature now back up to nearly 30 degrees, track temperature up to nearly 40, clear skies overhead. It's the heat of the day. It is just after 10 past 1 local time, and that means that the track is only going to increase in temperature. For those starting on the shadowy side of the grid, is there an advantage? Well, we will have to wait and see. The track might be a little less hot. That might just help a fraction with that initial traction off the line. Final formation lap is underway here at the Circuit de Catalunya, the Circuit Montmeló. Victor Martins leading the field from Alexander Smolyar and Peter Potacek in third. Potacek was the man who made contact unwittingly with the back of Oscar Piastri in the run into turn 1 yesterday. Turned Piastri around, he rejoined at the back of the field and carved his way back through the order to, let's remind ourselves, 5th position. Kushmaini, the only retirement in yesterday's race, and there was a time penalty applied after the race for Peter Potacek, who finished in third place on the podium, but for that contact with Oscar Piastri, in fact, he was penalised by 15 seconds, which was enough, handily, to drop him just behind Piastri in the overall standing. So although Piastri crossed the line in 6th, he gained points for 5th position. Little unfortunate, perhaps, for the driver from the Czech Republic, Peter Potacek, but that's the way it goes. Oscar Piastri retains the championship lead from Victor Martins. Alexander Smolyar lying third in the championship coming in here. So the front row contains the men who are second and third, the closest rivals to Oscar Piastri. We'll have to wait and see how the British licence-holding Aussie championship leader Piastri fares in this one. Back in the middle of the top end of the top 10, but on row 3 of the grid, 6th in qualifying. You might fear a little for the first corner outcome. There's Smolyar, 53 as Potacek, Alex Quinn for Arden. Then the red nose, Lorenzo Colombo, and then the predominantly white car, that little blue number surround, Oscar Piastri. Everybody else squirming through, trying to warm their tyres Franco Colapinto, Xavier Loveras with the green upper body, Leonardo Lorandi and the rest. Just trying to weave and get some heat into the front tyres, get some heat into the brakes as well, because the formation lap isn't a particularly high stress lap, but you need to work that heat into the tyres. You can see the colours of Fernando Alonso and indeed of Spain, of course, the red and gold with the blue background on those FA cars. FA racing by DriveX, running Colapinto, the 66, and Benvenides, the 61 cars. Pretty easy to pick out in any crowd, such as their electric blue livery. Lorenzo Colombo, 6th on the grid, with Oscar Piastri alongside him. Lies in 4th place in the championship, so top 6 on the grid, top 4 in the championship included therein. 5 red lights will go on, and when they're off, we are racing for the second time. Away we go. Not a great start from Alexander Smolyar on the front row of the grid, but a good getaway from the pole man, Victor Martins, the yellow and black. He's leading down the hill. 53, Peter Potacek, with the Russian inside him. The Russian also looking inside. Victor Martins can't get through. Potacek is going to sweep round his nose. So too 33, Alex Quinn. Quinn rides the curbs, loses traction, but the Russian on the outside loses more traction. Smolyar down to 4th, down to 5th, I think, behind Oscar Piastri. And that's good news for Piastri, bad news for Smolyar. Alex Quinn runs out wide, and Piastri is in 4th. Quinn trying to go the long way around. Black car, Peter Potacek can't get through. There's Smolyar, number 3, ahead of Lorenzo Colombo. They're 3rd and 4th in the championship. They're 5th and 6th here. Alex Quinn in a red and white Arden car, right in the middle of the bunch, and holding off Oscar Piastri there, side by side behind him. And again, Smolyar trying to defend. He's coming under pressure from the second black and yellow car around the outside. That's a good move from the young Brazilian, Charles Collet. And Smolyar in trouble again. He's got another car coming by, a bit of debris flying up. Not sure it's from any of these, perhaps from something in the previous Porsche race, but it's Victor Martins who leads. 2nd, Peter Potacek. 3rd place was Alex Quinn, still just about Alex Quinn, wheel by wheel. Wheel to wheel, Oscar Piastri goes by him and gets the job done. Quinn climbing the curbs to avoid contact. No point trying to take a wheel off on the first lap of the race. That is not going to help. So Piastri from 6th on the grid up to 3rd place now. Victor Martins, the leader, from Peter Potacek, and Oscar Piastri has done what he needed to do, cleave through a couple of rows of traffic before they've even got to the end of lap 1. Wheel to wheel, Frank Bird and 43, Kilian Meyer. That's at the tail of the field, the leaders across the line. Victor Martins leads by a second from Peter Potacek, the black car, then Oscar Piastri with Alex Quinn behind him, then defending is Chai Collet from Lorenzo Colombo. Colombo in the number 12 car can't get by, but he is ahead of Alexander Smolyar. Smolyar from 2nd on the grid, only 7th at the end of lap 1. Ran off wide in turn 2, picked up dirt and muck on the tyres, then didn't have any grip to speak of, and the fresh tyred cars around him just carved their way by. Now Smolyar, hopefully having cleaned his tyres a little, staying ahead of Hugo de Vilde with those bright pink highlights on his blue car. And the Russian in the red, white and blue of SMP Racing trying to make up ground. 41 diving down the inside. Kushmaini, the Indian driver, retired from yesterday's race, had a broken floor. Now he's under pressure again from behind. 32 is Frank Bird. Frank Bird in the middle of the grid yesterday, but the field left without him at the start. And he only just got the car going right at the tail of the field. He's battling with Kilian Meyer behind him, Kushmaini in front. Smolyar defending on the inside. That's not a move to attack, that's a move to defend against Hugo de Vilde. De Vilde 4th in the rookie standings, 8th in the overall championship points. And Charles Collet, car number 2, there you saw him. He is leading the rookie standings, the young Brazilian from Kushmaini. At least Kushmaini came in here ahead of Hugo de Vilde and João Vieira. But João Vieira, fellow Brazilian, of another Brazilian in the rookie standings, is not here this weekend. So de Vilde moving up, Kushmaini, no points from yesterday. He needs to try and find some today. And again, look at the battle down into the first corner. Lorenzo Colombo, car number 12, is on the outside and sweeps around Charles Collet. You're on the inside line coming down on drivers right there, but there's not the grip. There's nothing like the amount of rubber down there that there is on the racing line, and that gives the driver on the outside the advantage going into turn one. And Lorenzo Colombo used that perfectly to move up into 5th position. Now, can he set sail after the leaders? Take a look at the start. Dreadful getaway from Alexander Smolyar on the outside of the front row, right under the camera, already under threat before he gets second gear from Alex Quinn. Another of the Arden cars down the grass. I think that was, I don't know who that was. Let's take a look at the front. Smolyar looking inside. Peter Potacek goes around the outside, so does Alex Quinn. And then the Russian tries to stay outside, loses ground, gets onto the marbles, filth on the tyres, and drops from what was then equal 3rd down to 7th place. He's now up to 6th as Victor Martins leads in the black and yellow number 11. And not closing on the leaders in 3rd place is Oscar Piastri, car number 1. 61, the FA racing car there. That is Brad Benvenides from the back row of the grid. He's up to 15th, ahead of Kushmani, Frank Bird and Kilian Meyer. And again, nailed together, 66 and 72. Colapinto, the bright chrome blue car, and the green upper body of Loveras. They came through from the back row yesterday and were firmly on the fringes of the top 10 by the end of lap 1. And then continued to work their way up the order. Colapinto finished in the end in 11th, Lorandi in 10th. Little look down the inside, more in hope than anticipation from Alexander Smolyar, just to make sure that Charles Collet in the yellow and black number 2 knew that he was there. Smolyar 2 poles this year, including race 2 in Monaco. But in terms of victories, 3 wins. Doesn't look like he's going to add another one this weekend, but he's putting in a good run around the outside of Charles Collet. And that's a really well-judged move. That's fantastic stuff from Victor Smolyar. Russian clearly has cleaned his tyres up thoroughly, drove the long way round the outside. That's not easy to do. Possibly helped by the Brazilian being a little tight and defensive on the inside line, leaving Smolyar only one alternative, which he was very happy to take. Leave him racing room, he's going to race you. So Smolyar up to 6th, Collet down to 7th, ahead of Hugo de Wilde, but it's still Victor Martins who leads. There he is. Frenchman out front, Peter Potacek in 2nd, and Oscar Piastri, the Aussie, the championship leader, in 3rd. Oscar Piastri in 3rd place, still under pressure from Alex Quinn. Quinn finished in the end on the podium yesterday, didn't get to stand on the podium, Peter Potacek did, but after Potacek's penalty, Quinn got the place. Here comes Loveras on Colapinto. Loveras with the green top to the body. The Catalan driver does not get by, but he's going to have another stab down into the inside. No, he's not. Colapinto gets the door shut just in time. That battle continues, though, for 11th place. They are dropping a little bit behind the 10th place car of Leonardo Lorandi, the white and blue JD Motorsport machine. There's Oscar Piastri. Now he is creeping away from Alex Quinn, and that's because Quinn has to worry about Lorenzo Colombo behind him. So red and white, number 33, Alex Quinn for Arden. And behind him, car number 12, that's Lorenzo Colombo. They started 4th and 5th, and they are currently battling in 4th and 5th. So again, Lorenzo Colombo, not a rookie, but behind him, Alex Quinn, first year in the series. In fact, he didn't race until the Nürburgring round. So he's raced twice, or 2 race weekends, 4 races in the Eurocup. Second place in race 2 at the Nürburgring. That's his only podium so far this season. Retired from race 2 in Hungary. Again, he's credited with the podium, and in fact with the rookie points win in race 1 here, although he was 4th at the line. So if he can somehow find a way back to the leaders, then he might get a chance to stand on the actual podium. Victor Martins from Peter Potacek and Oscar Piastri, and this is the battle for 4th. Lorenzo Colombo in the number 12, right behind Alex Quinn. So Quinn doing a good battle, good job hanging on this battle, the 18-year-old from Great Britain. Raced last year in British GT, having raced in Formula 3 and Formula 4 the 2 previous seasons. Formula 4 the 2 previous seasons. In 2017 he raced in F3 as well in Great Britain, and then 2018 in British GT. In GT4 he was in Ginettas. A couple of seasons in Formula 4, and also he's got a slew of British karting titles under his belt. So another classic road up the ladder, karting, Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula Renault Eurocup, and of course the classic season off gap year doing British GT. Well, whatever else, British GT will definitely have given him a whole host of other racing experiences on which to build. Looks like he's putting all of them into application at the moment, holding off Lorenzo Colombo. Colombo, the Italian, 2 retirements this season, 3 wins under his belt, out of 5 podium finishes before this weekend. Yesterday, slightly disappointing 7th place for the Italian. Colombo just 19 years old. He also raced Formula 4 in Italy in 2017. He was 3rd in the title race. And then last year raced in Eurocup and Northern European Zone with JD Motorsport in the Formula Renault car. So he's got Formula Renault experience that Alex Quinn does not, but Quinn at the moment using his racing nous to hang on. Ooh, you see that? See, losing a little bit of grip as he runs a fraction off line, Lorenzo Colombo. The MP Motorsport driver having to gather it all back up. Top 3 are spreading out. Victor Martins with the fastest race lap, a 1:44.245. He's the race leader. Peter Potacek, his fastest lap, a 44.48. And a 44.67 is the fastest lap that Oscar Piastri has managed in 3rd. That's why the top 3 are spreading out. The leader is faster than the guy who's 2nd. The guy who's 2nd faster so far than the guy who is 3rd. Charles Collet in 7th place in the number 2 car. He's actually been quicker than Alex Quinn, whose fastest race lap is a 44.9. Alex Quinn under pressure though from Lorenzo Colombo for 4th position. There's Peter Potacek, driver from the Czech Republic. And he did admit in Parc Fermé yesterday, the young rookie, that he had inadvertently made contact with Oscar Piastri, the championship leader, in turn 1. And unfortunately, that was clearly evident. The stewards decided that although it was unintentional, the end result was that Piastri was turfed to the back of the field, and therefore there was a penalty due to be served by Peter Potacek. But the Czech driver is a couple of seconds clear of Piastri now, 2.3 behind the leader, and in fact the gap has opened up now to 1.6 second to 3rd. Piastri is 4 seconds behind the race leader. That was his fastest race lap though, 1:44.404. And only the leader, who just set another new fastest lap, 44.170 for Victor Martins. He's the only man on track who is quicker than Oscar Piastri right now. So gap from the leader to everybody else continues to open up as Victor Martins just nails fastest lap after fastest lap. But Oscar Piastri is creeping slowly closer to Peter Potacek. We're almost halfway through the 30 minutes. 17 to go and 13 down. And Alex Quinn clinging on in 4th place. And a little bit of pressure relieved. Lorenzo Colombo now has Alexander Smolyar, the Russian, behind him, 5th and 6th. And that means that Colombo is no longer free. Look, watch Colombo. He's not looking at the car in front. He is just keeping his eyes on the mirrors because he senses that Smolyar, having closed up on the Italian, is ready to make a move. I don't think he's wrong. Smolyar's last lap was quicker than Colombo's. His fastest lap is quicker than Colombo's by 0.3 of a second. The Russian is on a mission to work his way back up the order from where he ended lap 1 in 7th place. Well, there is Smolyar, busy hands in the number 3 SMP racing car. It's been run by Race GP as well. 18-year-old Russian, twice a winner this year. Raced in Formula 4 in the Northern European zone, 3rd, and in Spain, where he was 2nd in 2017. Smolyar last year broke into Formula Renault in the Eurocup and in the Northern European Zone Championship with Tech 1. Tech 1 now, at least temporarily, have folded their Formula Renault arm. It's where they came to prominence, running cars across Eurocup and the various national championships in 2-litre and then in World Series very successfully. Ran Bertrand Baguette to the World Series by Renault Championship title. And Sarah and Simon Abadi and Tech 1 now running in the Blancpain GT series among their other racing interests. Charles Collet here, the Brazilian rookie leader. Last year's Formula 4 champion in France. Raced karts until the end of the 2017 season, so this is year 2 of racing open-wheel race cars for him. And after getting used to something that, compared to a top-flight International World Championship kart, felt slow and heavy, Formula 4 car, it's got a little bit more speed, bit more grip, getting to grips with these cars very nicely. And 5th in the overall standings coming in here with a couple of overall podiums. Charles Collet, but he's down in 7th place. And not the top rookie. Petr Potacek is the top rookie. Alex Quinn, 2nd of the rookies. Charles Collet at the moment in 3rd place among his rookie rivals. Quinn across the line in 4th, right below the camera there, Lorenzo Colombo and Alexander Smolyar. And you can see in the foreground, Piastri closing on Potacek. Colombo looking to have another go at Alex Quinn. Maybe Quinn didn't get out of the chicane and turn 16 quickly enough. And they have just crept a fraction away from Smolyar, and that allows Colombo to have a look. But the Russian is right there, runs out wide onto the dirty part of the track. That's not going to help him much, but he uses the momentum to close a little on Lorenzo Colombo. And Colombo, having had his attack rebuffed by Alex Quinn, may now have to revert to defence. Oh, the Russian showing his nose on the inside. He's showing, I've got more grip than you, be careful. Now, of course, where you show your nose and where you're actually planning to attack may not be the same, and oftentimes are not the same. If you think you've got a decisive advantage in one corner, you try and fox your rival into thinking it's in a different one. Down the hill, 33, Quinn, just a little ahead of Colombo and Smolyar now being caught by Collet, and he's bringing De Wilde with him. So this battle for 4th, that was a 2-horse race, then a 3, is soon going to be 4, 5 cars long, and that puts pressure on everybody, apart from the man at the back, Charles Collet, and Hugo De Wilde behind him once he gets there, and the man at the front, Alex Quinn, who only has to worry about 1 car. And Quinn is breaking that toe. He is away now from Lorenzo Colombo in a way that he definitely was not a lap ago. Alex Quinn comes across the line, 0.6 clear of Lorenzo Colombo. Not completely out of the woods yet, and Colombo is hoovering up the toe behind him down the straight. But it is a little bit of breathing space. 51 and 25 battle, and again, this is Colapinto and Loveras. 66 is Franco Colapinto. And right behind him, Xavier Loveras. Well, neither driver has had a podium finish this season, but they made good progress yesterday. Loveras, another driver coming into Eurocup last season from Formula 4, where he raced in Spain in the Northern European zone. He He did French GT4 as well in 2018 as Formula 4 in Spain. A busy old season. Eurocup, Formula 4 and French GT in GT4. Now that's a lot of racing miles, a lot of variety for Xavier Lloveras, the young Catalan there in 72, currently in 12th place. Belgian Amaury Cordel behind them, and Kushmaini, although he's moved up a spot from the grid, not making much progress in 14th place, the young Indian driver. Tail of the field, Kilian Meyer on his debut in these Eurocup cars. Out front though, Victor Martins looking very reassured. Another very fast lap. He set a purple middle sector on that lap, faster than anybody else has gone. Peter Potacek now nearly 4 seconds back. Oscar Piastri closing to almost half a second behind, so the leader is gone. And unless something goes wrong with his car or he suffers heat stroke and goes off, he should have this in the bag with 10 minutes to go. The battle for second, though, could become highly entertaining. Peter Potacek, the young driver from the Czech Republic, ahead of the equally young Aussie, Oscar Piastri. So what about our race leader then, Victor Martins, 18-year-old from France, 2 wins so far this season. Before coming here, he's added 50% to that by winning yesterday. And Victor Martins raced in Eurocup and Northern European Zone with Race GP last year. He was the runner-up in French Formula 4 in 2017, having graduated from kart racing, and is running away this weekend in both races. Margin of victory over Alexander Smolyar yesterday was 6.1 seconds, and he'd eased off towards the end. Battle for second place then, the black and gold of Peter Potacek. And right behind him is young Aussie Oscar Piastri. Hasn't added to his tally of 6 wins this season. Runner-up in the 2017 Formula 4 Championship in Great Britain. Raced in Eurocup last year with Arden. Decided that Race GP would be a better berth for him this year. Partner with Charles Collet and Alexander Smolyar. That's a pretty impressive trio. And he is closing down the Czech driver in front. 16 years old, Peter Potacek, and barely looks that, you have to say. Real baby-faced assassin. 1 podium finish so far in the season for Potacek. Was on the podium yesterday, only to have that penalised away for him for contact with car number 1 of Oscar Piastri on the opening lap of yesterday's race. But Potacek, what a busy 2019. He's already raced in the Toyota series in New Zealand, single-seater slicks and wings, MRF in India, single-seater slicks and wings, Asian Formula 3 already this season, as well as the Formula Renault Eurocup. And last year, equally busy and diverse, raced in Formula 4 cars in 2018 in Italy, in Spain, in the ADAC series in Germany, and in the UAE Formula 4 series as well. I'd like to see what his diary looks like in terms of travel and race weekends, and in terms of kilometres under the wheels last year. Must have been an awful lot for Peter Potacek. And for Oscar Piastri, closing, closing, closing. The gap is coming down almost with every corner, but almost with every corner, time is ticking away against him as well. And still in that turbulent slipstream behind Potacek, not coming off the final corner quickly enough. Now he hoovers up the slipstream, looks to the inside, but again Potacek with grip on the outside line, stuck to the line, and Piastri could not find a way to get by. This could be a real cat and mouse battle to the end of the race. Piastri with a tiny little bit more pace, but because he's in the turbulent air behind Potacek, the white car's tyres are struggling for grip more than the black cars, or at least they should be. Without quite so much efficiency from the wings, his car will be working its tyres harder. There's quite a lot of medium to high-speed corners here in Barcelona. Quite a lot of constant radius turns where turbulent airstream works the tyres hard. Everybody on the same control Hankook rubber, the same 1.8 litre Renault engine, the same chassis. And here comes the long queue now for fourth. Lorenzo Colombo ahead of Alex Quinn and Alexander Smolyar. Then Charles Collet and Hugo de Wilde just about catching up. So Colombo finally managing to unlock Quinn's defence. Right behind them, Alexander Smolyar. And there is number 2, Charles Collet. Despite similar livery, not the teammate of Victor Martins. Victor Martins run by MP Motorsport, Charles Collet run by Race GP. Just both happen to have black and yellow liveries. Cars stream across the line. 5¼ minutes remain. And when the time runs out, of course, 1 extra lap. So there's always that last potential move for Oscar Piastri somewhere, even when the clocks run down to 0. There is a last lap, ideally placed for last lap lunges. However, if he can get by before that, so much the better. Piastri in 3rd. Again, Piastri showing the car in all sorts of different places to Peter Potacek. And is that all smoke and mirrors, or is he just struggling for grip? Lorenzo Colombo, car number 12, up to 4th on the last lap, ahead of Alex Quinn. We didn't see it, but he's got by Quinn finally. He's up to 4th. Quinn in 5th, and Alexander Smolyar in 6th position. The Russian trying to close on the young Brit. 3rd race weekend in the cars for Quinn. Alexander Smolyar, as we said, raced in Eurocup and Northern European Zone in Formula Renault last year. New car, the FR19 this season. So everybody adapting what they already know and learning the Hankook tyre as well. And that's one of the factors that the drivers who've been racing Formula Renault all year will have under their belt, if you like. That Alex Quinn, the newcomer, and guys like Kilian Meyer, who are new to the series, will not have. His knowledge perhaps of how best to manage tyre wear during the course of a race. Because even on a track that gives lots of grip and isn't particularly abrasive, tyres do wear. And if you're not aware of how best to manage that, you will end up losing out to your rivals. Quinn has to go defensive. Smolyar will have the grippy outside line. Can't use it there. Quinn's in the middle of the road from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. But Smolyar, I think, senses that the position is there for the taking. Alex Quinn hanging on to 5th position. Right on his tail is Alexander Smolyar. The Russian came into the weekend only 4.5 points behind Victor Martins, even if he was 42 behind Oscar Piastri. But Martins beat Smolyar in race 1. They were 1-2. Martins looks like posting another win, and Smolyar in 6th position will lose ground to Victor Martins and to Oscar Piastri. And also to Lorenzo Colombo, who came in here 4th in the points behind him. So Colombo's disappointing first race, he's sort of undoing some of that damage again in the battle against Smolyar for 3rd place in the championship. 4 races remain at 2 racetracks following this. They go to Hockenheim in Germany and then to Yas Marina to round out the season in what you have to assume will probably be even hotter conditions than their experience here in Barcelona. At Yas Marina, that is, not necessarily at Hockenheim in October. Guessing not. Under 2 minutes on the clock, which means the next time they... Oh no, the next time they get round, the leader will just beat the time running out. So it's this +1, and then the time will run out +1. So 3 laps, in theory, to go to the end. What about car number 2, the young Brazilian Charles Collet? What can he do here? Can he find a way by? Just 17 years old. Won last year's French Formula 4 Championship title. Leading the rookie charge here. 5th place in the standings. And 3 overall podium finishes. He was 2nd in the 2nd race at Spa behind Lorenzo Colombo. And he was 3rd behind winner Victor Martins and Alexander Smolyar in the 1st race around the streets of Monaco. 3rd also behind winner Oscar Piastri and Alex Quinn, who finished 2nd in race 2 at the Nürburgring. .40 seconds on the clock. Victor Martins with a 5.5 second lead. Probably doesn't really want to ease right off because there'll be a lap to go after the time runs out. It's not like the checkered flag comes out when the clock gets down to 0. So as he crosses the line, finishing the anti-penultimate lap. This is the penultimate lap. The clock will run down to 0, and after this comes the +1. So your Formula Renault Eurocup race always comes with the +1, as all the best things in life do. Victor Martins leads 6.2 seconds across the line from Peter Potacek and Oscar Piastri. Another sensational first sector time last time round. Fastest race lap for Lorenzo Colombo of his race, 1:44.32. But Victor Martins, last time round the race leader, setting another fastest lap, 1:43.994. So the first man to dip below a 1:44 lap. The leader is absolutely in a class of his own this weekend, Victor Martins. And whatever it is, the Frenchman is reveling in Barcelona. So we're on the penultimate lap of the race. Oh, and Alex Quinn under pressure from Charles Collet. The Brazilian could not quite get by. But again, I think a slight lack of familiarity with the Hankook tyre on these Formula Renault Eurocup cars, particularly given the high ambient and the slightly low grip but high degradation surface here. And Alex Quinn, who was 4th, passed by Lorenzo Colombo, now being passed by Alex Smolyar. And there he was very nearly passed by Charles Collet. Well, Collet, having had a lunge, chopping back a fraction and almost into the clutches of Hugo de Wilde in the dark car with the bright pink. Let's have a look. This is Smolyar, his favoured passing place, turn 1 into turn 2. Got around Alex Quinn, used the outside line. Quinn was clearly defending there into turn 1. And Smolyar drove round the outside. Quinn then running out wide and almost into the clutches of the number 2 car of Charles Collet. So they stream onto the final lap. Collet trying to go the long way around the outside, replicate what Smolyar did, and he's got the grip, he's got the line, he's got the overlap. And Alex Quinn fights it too long. Collet fights it too long. Does Hugo de Wilde get through? He does. So Alex Quinn losing 3-4 places there. Around the outside goes number 25, Lorenzo Lorandi. Doesn't quite get the move done. Collet lost ground there as well. It all fell nicely into the lap of the Belgian driver Hugo de Wilde. So de Wilde, winner in the opening race in Monza, outright. That was his only podium finish of the season. And so Hugo de Wilde now moves up to, I think, what will be 6th position. There it is, 6th position and 2nd of the rookies. Meanwhile, last lap, where's the lunge coming from? Victor Martins is going to win this. But Peter Potacek versus Oscar Piastri. That's the battle for the 2nd and 3rd step on the podium. Martins has been absolutely flawless. Great qualifying, took pole for both races. Great racing, romping away from the field. Fastest race laps, dominant weekend in Barcelona for Victor Martins, the Frenchman for MP Motorsports, who wave their arms in delight at the wall. Win number 2 of the weekend. Fantastic, dominant performance from the young Frenchman. Came in here 2nd in the championship, and as Oscar Piastri finishes 3rd with 5th in race 1, that championship battle will close up very nicely. Peter Potacek second, Oster Piastri third, Lorenzo Colombo fourth, ahead of Alexander Smolyar and Hugo de Wilde. And then back 33 across the line, Alex Quinn in 11th place from 4th position. And again, I think lack of experience with the tyre, particularly given the hot conditions for the newcomer to the championship. So Alex Quinn having a pretty entertaining battle, but in the end, struggling for grip towards the end. So Victor Martins reignites the championship battle as he claims his 2nd win of the weekend, his 4th of the season. What a massive weekend for him. Peter Potacek, top rookie, ahead of Oster Piastri. That's your podium. Lorenzo Colombo, Alexander Smolyar ahead of a slew of rookies, with Hugo de Wilde 2nd in the rookies and Charles Collet 3rd of them. So confirmation of the rest of the finishers. Xavier Loveras finally coming home just ahead of Kilian Mayer. Kilian Mayer in his 1st weekend in a Formula Renault car, and a good start to his Formula Renault experience. So it's a hot old afternoon here at the Circuit de Catalunya, but whatever else, Victor Martins will be feeling no pain whatsoever. Stewards will look later on at the incident between Alex Quinn and the number 2 car of Charles Collet. If it was in that last lap kerfuffle, I think you're pretty much going to see that that was a racing incident in which both drivers basically behaved like racing drivers, and I don't think, again, there was any malice or forethought. There is Collet, as it stands, finishing in 7th place, 3rd in the rookies, and so that will help his rookie challenge. He leads, or led here from Kushmani and João Vieira, and as we said, João Vieira not racing in Barcelona. Whether he returns later in the season, only time will tell us. So Hugo de Wilde gaining ground, was 4th among the rookies, but scoring points here to close up on the disappointed Kushmani. Maini finishing 12th in race 2 after retiring from race 1. And our race winner is way through to Parc Fermé under the podium, Victor Martins. And MP Motorsport, one of the long-serving teams in the Formula Renault world, claim another victory. MP Motorsport, then Manor MP Motorsport, back to MP Motorsport. They've had a long and successful history in junior single-seater racing. And Victor Martins, a double winning race weekend, continues that trend. Oscar Piastri's car is down there as well, the young Aussie, finishing 3rd on the road. And ending up with points for 5th position from yesterday's tough start to the weekend. Peter Potacek this time with no problems to answer to after the race, I don't think. 2nd place on the road for him. Louise Beckett, I can see hovering down there by the Formula Renault Eurocup backdrop. So in a moment or two, when we have herded sheep successfully, hey, oh look, she's even floor managing her own interviews. The hardest working woman in show business this afternoon. Probably the hottest working woman in show business this afternoon as well. So Victor Martins, Peter Potacek and Oscar Piastri are podium finishers. And the top 3 rookies, Potacek, de Wilde and Collet. So there's Victor Martins, and closest to us, you saw Oscar Piastri. All right, photos are done. Time to talk the talk. Let's hear how Victor Martins saw it all.
Victor Martins, congratulations. Another strong performance. It's just about getting ahead there and managing it.
Yeah, this one feels awesome, and yeah, the team are doing a great job. They gave me a fantastic car. It's just like a real pleasure to drive, and yeah, we get the win again.
we did a double this weekend, and we are back for the championship. So let's keep it up.
Well done.
Thank you.
I'm just going to find our second place driver as well. Petter, congratulations. It was a clean race today for you and second place on the podium.
Yeah, I think the best weekend for us during the season. Yeah, from FP1 we were quick. I didn't expect to be 2 times on the podium, even though the first one was taken away from us. I still feel like we did a good job this weekend in general. Both qualities were decent from us, and yeah, P2 in this race. Yeah, it's nice. It's good to. The next race is straight away next week after, so yeah, we see what happens there.
You can keep this one as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. And finally, Oscar Piastri, here he comes to me now, thank you. You tried and tried to get that second spot, but couldn't quite do it. But definitely for you after yesterday, it was a case of damage limitation.
Yeah, for sure, especially after quali this morning as well. You know, a few errors from both sides. And yeah, I think I finally got a good start, so that was definitely my highlight. And yeah, good first lap, and then yeah, I tried to pass Peter, but he was running a bit more downforce, so I could catch him in the toe, but then in the corners he was just a little bit too quick. So yeah, still good points though, so pretty happy.
And the fight's definitely still on for the championship.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yesterday showed that it can change just as quickly as it has done in the early part of the season. So. Yeah, definitely can't count my chickens, and yeah, I think coming away with third today definitely was good for confidence for the whole team, and yeah, really looking forward to Hockenheim next weekend. Had a good race there last year, so hopefully again the same.
Well done, and enjoy the podium. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Louise Beckett. Congratulations to our podium finishers, to our race winners. Well, 50 points this weekend added to the tally of Victor Martins. From pole position, got away better than Alexander Smolyar. From row 2, Alex Quinn was the man on the move down to the first turn on the outside, the Arden driver. Peter Potacek swept round into second. Quinn around the outside of Smolyar for third, a move the Russian would repay him for many laps later. Piastri got by Quinn, and then he was on his way in third position. Oscar Piastri, the points leader, jumping away from 6th on the grid. Battles raging up and down the order as Victor Martins set fastest lap after fastest lap. He had enough in the tank for fastest laps almost to the end of the race. Smolyar getting by Alex Quinn for 4th place. And then there was just a tiny hint of contact perhaps between Quinn and the top rookie. As Collette went by him, tyres ran out of grip late in the race, but not for Victor Martins. A perfect race weekend, 2 poles, 2 wins, 2 fastest laps. Fantastic effort from the young Frenchman. So Victor Martins, the winner from Peter Potacek and Oscar Piastri. Piastri continues to lead the championship. They head to Hockenheim next weekend for the penultimate encounters. And then Yas Marina to round out the season. 2 race weekends that will almost guaranteed be held in distinctly opposite weather patterns. Hockenheim in October, pretty much likely to be cold, wet and windy. Yas Marina, possibly not wet, maybe hot, hot and hotter. So Oscar Piastri needs to steady the ship. He recovered from the contact from behind in race 1 yesterday to gain points for 5th, and here finished on the podium after a great start from 6th after disappointing qualifying. So we will welcome our top 3 onto the podium. Oscar Piastri in 3rd place. I'm afraid I'm not even going to attempt the maths live on air, but pretty certainly he does still have the advantage over Victor Martins. And Alexander Smolyar still in 3rd ahead of Lorenzo Colombo. In fact, he will have extended his advantage a little over Colombo. But 2nd place on the podium for Peter Potacek, and our race winner is Victor Martins. So the Marseillaise, the French anthem for our race winner, Victor Martins. MP Motorsport representative joining him as the winning team. And here is how I think the maths goes. 2 wins at 25 points apiece, 50 points for Victor Martins. 5th place, 10 points. 3rd place, 15 points. That's 25 in total for Oscar Piastri. So Martins has scored double the points of Piastri this weekend. The gap comes down by 25 points. I make it that Piastri has 2-4-7, and Victor Martins has 2-3-4.5. So that is 16, 13, 12.5 points between them. It seems that it's about, yeah, a top 3 finish separating, top 4 finish separating the top 2 now. So Giulio Rizzo from Hankook Tyres, the series supplier, presenting the trophy. And the sporting director, Renault Sport, is presenting the trophy to MP Motorsport as the winning team. Well, they and Victor Martins have done the best job this weekend, haven't they? They found the fastest single lap, found the fastest race laps, and they have found the overall fastest car driver combination. The battle continues though. The Frenchman chasing down his Australian rival there on the right-hand side of your shot. And Peter Potacek suddenly reinvigorating his season. All 3 of them, as you heard, eager to get now to Hockenheim next weekend. And I think perhaps their wet weather skills will be tried then. That's it though for Barcelona for the Formula Renault Eurocup.